What's up, guys, and welcome back. My name is Splattercat, and you are here in the Nerd Castle with me once again playing Don't Starve, as we have so many times before. And I actually believe that I hear the sound of hounds on the breeze. And so what you don't know is that I've played a day or two, and we're just about right. Now, we're on day 35, and yesterday, not on day 34, I guess, but not the day we are currently playing, but the day before it, which preceded it, we actually had all the snow melt, and so there was no snow left, and I was feeling pretty excited. I was like, yeah, there's no more snow. We're finally out of winter, but it looks like it came back. And then we're also about to be under attack by hounds. And so before we set out to do what we're going to do today, oh, there he is. And so we'll dodge that first one. Ha! I juke you. I juke you and rebuke you, hound. And so he's down. Oh, there's three. Oh, God. Save me, piggies. Save me. We're both fleshy and pink. Save me. Well, he's kind of brown. He's brown and metally. Oh, God. It's a winter hound. Okay. So the hounds are getting a little bit better stocked. There's actually 5 this time, which is a substantial amount. I mean, it's not a load of hounds. Oh, and he killed him. All right, and we're gonna need that hound's tooth because I was perusing. No, don't eat those, you idiot. No. Okay, so if a pigman eats too many, hey, everything melted again. It melted from the heat of our melee. Anyways, from the heat of our battle, from the throng. That's a word I haven't used in a long time. Throng. It's like thong, but with an R. It's like a biblical word, I think. But anyways, so we're able to set out today, and I think what I'm going to do is let's actually get rid of these. I'm going to go hide them over here so that the pigmen don't eat them, because the pigmen are kind of dumb like that. If they eat too many, they're going to turn into werepigs, and that's going to be awful. There is no part of that situation that we actually want to partake in, and so we're going to avoid it entirely. Now, we do need to head out. I don't really know what provisions I should bring with me. I'm bringing all of my gear because we're going out with a specific reason. We're actually going to try and catch some bees. And so, actually, let me prototype. I always do this. I always set out on these grand adventures with these great machinations. Well, I may be overestimating the greatness of the machination. All I'm doing is going out with a fly swatter or a fly catcher and catching a bunch of bees. But anyways, let's go ahead and prototype that before we take off. I believe it's in this menu. Yeah, there it is. So we need a rope. So let's get ourselves a ropo, and then we'll go over here and grab some of these out of here. And one thing that I noticed, anyways, as I was saying, I was going through the overall item list, and one thing that I was noticing is that, let's see here, what was I doing? Oh yeah, I always lose my train of thought. My train of thought, it must run on just water, basically. Water and vinegar instead of coal and what other fuel that trains run on, because frankly I lose my train of thought constantly. It needs to get a GPS or something so that I can locate it. Basically, I need to chip it like you would with your dog. I need to put like a chip in my train of thought so that I can find it whenever I need to. And we're actually out of food too, so hopefully this sort of ends. Actually, this may kind of waylay the overall adventure that I was expecting to have. Let's go check our traps first because we're so close to out of food. Our tummy is rumbling. And I'm actually going to spare the pigs for now. I was going to kill a couple of them and get some big meats that we could hang up so that we could get them dried for the big jerkies, because those do really well at taking care of you. But for the time being, and I forgot Chester, damn it. Well, we'll eat the rest of this jerky. Let's consume the rest of this jerky. I'm carrying around so much random crap right now. And so let's get rid of all these, and we'll kill the bunnies to conserve space. Just kill them outright. That little whippy motion that he does, I like to think that he's like strangling them in some weird sadistic way, because it's WX-78, why wouldn't he? And so our other trap has broken, and we have just killed so many bunnies on this adventure. We have just not been a very nice person. We're freezing to death too, so let's go ahead and put our sweatshirt on. And then what else do we have going on here? And he's still saying that he's freezing, which is a little odd, because the vest should have handled that. Let's go ahead, we'll place that trap, and let's head back to a campfire and make sure that we're going to be alright, because the frost seems to still be encroaching. And this will give us the opportunity to just kind of get everything put away anyways. We need to take a minute out and just get everything situated before we head much further into this day. I probably should have prepared a little bit better for this episode. I should probably bring Chester along with me as well. Our fire is completely out, which is something that I don't like very much. But the temperature is rising, there's no frost left on the ground, and that's also good. So let's take these logs, and we'll dump a pile of logs over here. I like to just leave my stuff strewn around now. I've gotten kind of lazy and hasty in my preparations. I just kind of throw things wherever they lay at this point. I'm also going to fill Chester with the meaty goodness that we've just captured from our traps. I'm going to grab his eye bone as well, which is not nearly as filthy as it sounds. And then we're going to go over here, drop that rock, just make a little bit of space, basically. I know I've got some of the boards in here, yeah, so we can combine those stacks. That's looking good, looking mighty fine, fine, just fine. We've got a spear, just extra stuff, just in case while we're out and about. I am going to need to mine some stone and maybe some gold while we're out tomorrow. So while we're there, I guess that's all we're really going to get done for now. I mean, I was hoping to get more done today, but unfortunately, I get sidetracked. But what I was talking about earlier, so that we can pass a little bit of time here, is I was looking at the list. In the dress list, there's actually this thing we can make now, a sewing kit, which is going to allow us to repair some of our objects. And so let's get one of those going, because I feel like that's probably something I want to have on hand. And I was just talking about that in the last episode, how I'd really like it if there was some sort of object that would allow me to get things done a little bit better. So let me see, how do I use this? Now, do I drag it over something else, or do I equip it maybe? Let's equip it. Does it go there? I don't know what to do with this. Maybe I drag that over it? There it is. Okay. Oh wow, that loses a lot of durability, but it's still something that I'd like to be able to use. Let me see if it'll work. No, it won't work on the log vest. Will it work on the football helmet? No, it won't work there either. Maybe because it's equipped? Okay, it's not going to work on the football helmet either, so it only works on very specific things. For right now, our puffy vest was the thing that, like, we just don't want that to break anyways, because it's tough to get reagents, or it's tough to get parts for. We have to go on long all-day hunts, and one of the things that they teach you, I like survivalist books. I read a lot of, like, Les Stroud stuff and a lot of things of that nature, because I spend a lot of time out camping and things like 50, 60 miles away from any of the nearest town. Like the last time I went out and camped, I believe we were about 45 minutes from the nearest hospital, like 20 minutes from the nearest town, which actually only had 15 people living in it. It was basically just a general store and a gas station. And so I read a lot of survival books because you never know like what little tidbit of information is going to help you out if you get yourself into a problem out there. And a lot of those things, it's surprising how they transfer into this game. You've really got to weigh your risk versus reward is a thing that you talk about a lot with that sort of thing. And risk versus reward basically says how much energy does it take. What was that? How much energy, anyways, does it take for me to generate something that gives me more energy or makes me more comfortable? And how comfortable does it make me? So you're basically just weighing the cost of what you're trying to do. And so where that ends you up is that in this game, I always find that you've really got to think about the way you want to spend your time. Like in this last little bit, it was in our best interest to make sure we went out and got a little bit more food before we ran out into the boonies. Now, Chester's got a little bit of meat in there, and I am pretty confident that we'll probably find some other provisions while we're running around. And if not, we're still just going to go out and catch some bees. Now, how many bees would I like to have? Let me take a look at my structures menu here. And it looks like the bee box. I always forget the reagents. I forget the things you need for the bee box. Maybe it's under food. Let's take a look here. The bee box. So we need 4 bees. And so I may destroy a couple more hives. I don't know how many we're going to be able to catch, but I'm going to make another net just in case. Actually, I don't think we have. I didn't want to make that. Damn it. Anyways, let's be on our way. Let's see what we can get done here. We've got our armor with us. We've got a little bit of extra space. And I know that bees are southward ho, so let's grab these logs before we go down there too, because we don't know when we're gonna have to make a campfire. I am so happy that the lushness has returned to the world. It's tiring living in a constant state of winter. I'll tell you guys that. It is really, really tiring. And while right now I don't feel like we're really prepared to go on an extended expedition, if you look, we're out of food. Our stomach is not completely full, but I'm sure we'll find something while we're out here. So it looks like the nearest beehive is over here. Worst case scenario is when we bust the beehive open, it's going to drop a couple things of honey. And while I'd rather use those for construction, we'll use those if we really need them to eat. And so that may be another thing that we have to spend our time gathering honey from our bee boxes so that we can make more bee boxes. It's a little bit slower than just gathering it all in the first place. Let's go on a koalaphant hunt, actually. A few more big meats is not going to kill us, and if it's out in the direction we were headed anyways, why not? And I get the sneaking suspicion that fortune's going to favor us on this one. I hope it will anyways. And if it doesn't, then we will say, "Sir, we do not like you anymore. You, Fortune, are a bastard, a filthy bastard with whom we shall no longer associate." It looks like we got a little battle going on over here. We're going to ignore it for the sake of our own safety, which is not the most valiant thing to do, but it is the most... well, it's the most pragmatic thing to do right now. It is in our best interest to ignore that melee. So let's take a look for these final koalaphant prints. Hopefully they don't end up being in the middle of spider piles, because right now these spider piles are like level 3, level 4, which means they are ripe to hatch. God, that noise is just unnerving. There used to be a tree next to my house when I was growing up as a kid that used to make noises like that, and it was awful, I'll tell you that much. It was awful in the winter when it would just scrape the roof, and it looks like we've actually run out of real estate here. So let me take a quick look and make sure that it's not behind any of these trees. There it is. Okay, so it was behind a tree. Let's go ahead and do that. And we're out of food right now, which is why I'm actually doing this koalaphant hunt. I have been severely underestimating my survival abilities, and unfortunately, we're going to have to make do with whatever we can hunt down right now. Those pigs might get gibbed if we get really lucky. God, this is going to be a giant waste of our time if we don't end up finding a koalaphant. Ugh. Finding koalaphants in these foresty areas is a giant risk that it is just no fun to take. Let me see if I can... It looks like the spiders actually... Damn. Okay, the spiders actually ate the meat that dropped from that pig that I was actually trying to fight for. So unfortunately, we're just going to have to make a sprint for it, and hopefully they lose aggro. And it looks like we lost the koalaphant tracks, so let's go ahead and just find our way to the nearest beehive, which I believe... Let's see here. Let me get everything lined up the way it was before. Yikes, we got berry bushes over here with a slight chance of food. We got bee boxes up here, so let's head up into the right. We'll knock off that beehive, we'll sustain ourselves on that, and then we'll cut down into the right for our final day to get that last group of beehives. Hopefully we don't starve, because if we start getting really hungry, it means our sanity is going to start just taking a dive on us, and going insane right now would be a giant problem too, so I would prefer to avoid that. God, we got a pig fight down here going on, and they're just eating up all the pig meat, which is very disappointing. That might actually be why they're out there fighting. It may just be a side effect. I may be looking too far into this. Let's see if we can get this beehive taken care of before nightfall. And so we should be able to stand our ground at least slightly. There we go. We'll take that off, and then we'll just hold our ground. Some of these bees, if we get lucky, may also drop honey. And you will forgive my frantic clicking here. Yikes, no such luck. So let's see if we can get some honey out of here. It may be because it's winter. Hey, that is exactly what I wanted to see right now. And since the bees aren't flying around, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to catch them. But for now, we just need to get food. We need to get something in our gullet for the time being. And then I'm not going to waste this dusk period. Let's go ahead and eat that honey. Yeah, that's what okay, good. We're getting ourselves a little bit better set up. And then we're going to cut down to right here. Maybe we'll catch some carrots along the way. I can't guarantee it because it is winter. We aren't going to see a whole lot of provisions showing their merciful little faces at the moment, but you'll forgive me for just a moment. My throat is just dying on me. Woo! Not feeling so good right now. But anyways, let's see. Oh, good. We've got rain. Now, while rain would normally be an irritant, it is a sign that the winter is ending. So we're going into kind of our spring showers right now before we go into summer. I don't think the game actually has a spring biome. I actually don't think it actually is that springy to begin with, but it's something. It's something to work with. Now, I think both of these are going to pop open when I hit this one, maybe. Maybe not. Let's see what we can do here. I am going to kill this group of bees. Okay, good. And so where did my bee net go? There it is. And so we'll grab that, and let's see how many of these little suckers we can catch. Now, I don't know if these will work. Killer bees. I don't know if these are going to work for what we want to use them for, if they're interchangeable with the normal bees. That would be a bit of a problem. And so I find myself actually a little nervous about knocking off this many bees. But if it gets us fed, I think it's going to work in the long run for us. We're also out of any type of grass. We got lightning? Damn. Okay, so we got problems on top of problems right now. Let's go ahead and run through this biome, see if we can find ourselves a little bit of food before things go too much further, because berries and carrots are going to be the order of the day. Hey, there's our first little group. Ooh, and there's a normal bee. So let's go ahead and grab him. And we have swiped him. I'm actually going to... Let's get rid of them. And I think they actually go neutral for a minute. Yeah, and then they're going to try and attack me one more time. Let's grab the spear. And while we have the spear out, we're just going to stab away at them, and hopefully they'll drop a bit more honey. And once again, no such luck. We are not having the luckiest of days. We're not having the best of days, but we're not having the worst of days either. So let's go ahead and make ourselves a fire, I guess. Hey, and there's a carrot. We'll grab that, and we'll cook it on up, and that'll be our dinner for the evening. And so our question of the day, I was going to ask you, there's television shows out there, but everybody has like a comfort television show, like a television show that when they're just in a bad mood, like you've had a really bad week, that they go back and they watch. So what is your comfort television show? Like the one that you're just like, this week sucks, I hate my life. Let's watch a TV show. Mine is going to be a conflict between Firefly and Breaking Bad. I watched those two quite a bit. I've watched Breaking Bad a couple of times through, and then like my really guilty pleasure show, like, and I really shouldn't admit to this because this is a guilty pleasure comfort show, is a show called Breaking Amish, where in the US we have these groups of people called the Amish that basically live like it's the 1500s, and they take these Amish people and they dump them into modern society, and you just watch their whole lives kind of implode, and it's a sadistic sort of show, but you watch it just to watch the train wreck. It's one of those Maury Povich type shows that's just nothing good can come from this, but we watch it anyways. And so let me know down in the comments what your guilty pleasure show is, or your guilty, well, your comfort TV show is. I think is what we're trying to stick to, because we already had guilty pleasure television shows. Let's go ahead and add fuel to that fire, and then we'll jump into this third day, and hopefully we can find ourselves a suitable grouping of tasks to apply ourselves to. Hopefully we see a lot of bees flying around, because that's really what we need right now. Did I hear the roar of hounds again? Yikes, I thought I heard the roar of hounds, but maybe not. We're also going to have to get ourselves another tentacle spike pretty soon. So that's going to be something that I'll probably do off-camera run out, although I run the risk of getting killed every time I do that. Let me stash some stuff with our good friend Chester here. Wakey, wakey, Chester. It's time to get up. We'll throw those in there. We'll throw those in there. Alright, give myself a little bit of extra space with which to accustom myself. We don't really, well, I should probably catch some butterflies too so that I can put a bunch of flowers right next to the bee. Ooh, look at all these beehives down here. Let's head to the southwest, and that's not the ones that I was talking about. I was actually talking about those two, that rather skimp field up there, if you were curious, but I'll take this one down here, and there's lots of food and all kinds of things growing and kind of thriving, lots of fauna and flora, so I think spring may finally be here, and I have never been more happy to see it. So we've got about 20 days. I'm going to say day 56 is when we're probably going to see our next winter period. Hopefully we don't have to see that. I'd like to jump into some adventure mode at some point, maybe do some challenges, but I'm not really sold on it just yet. It's not something that I feel brave enough about to just walk into at the moment. Let's see if we can find ourselves some bees. There we go. And into the net, bee. And this should actually be a fairly quick process. Oh, unless they decide to rally the troops. Let's grab this last one up here. And Chester, no! Chester, be swift! Be swift, Chester. Do not acquiesce. Do not acquiesce. There we go. And so there's a couple more bees all taken care of. So we've got 7 bees, but I need a 4 for a hive. That sucks. We need to make another, and Chester is unfortunately being chased by ravenous bees at the moment. Let's see if we have enough of the silk to make ourselves another net. I thought I prototyped that already. Why can't I? Do I have to be next to like a... Oh, that is so weak. Alright, well I'm going to cut this episode short then, because I don't want to film myself running back to camp. So my name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here in the Nerd Castle once again to take a look at Don't Starve. We're on day 37 and things are going swimmingly. They're going fantastically. Hopefully they keep working out for us. And I look forward to seeing you guys next time. I have no clue how long this is going to run, but we'll kind of treat it like a hardcore run. Whenever I die, and then we'll move on to something else, because I have been itching lately to jump into a new series. So we'll see what is on for us in the future, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.